Greetings and salutations, everybody, and welcome to another episode, an exciting episode of From a Certain Point Skewed, where today we'll be discussing all things The Acolyte. The good, the bad, and the possible in-betweeners of this Agatha Christie, like whodunit. We got robes, we got colored lightsabers, and we've got all this shit. I can't wait to get into this. Let's just do it. Who am I? I'm Jason the Angry Ginger. Who are you? Matt Mathias.
Yeah.
I gave it away.
Yeah, it's okay. I just got to say.
No mystery here.
We'll save that for the preview.
Okay.
I don't know about you. I am so exhausted from the Acolyte premiere event we went to. You know?
Dude, it's nice to finally be invited. We get to watch 4 episodes out of the 8. You know, we were at the premiere red carpet, shaking hands, high-fiving people we've never met before. It's good to be included.
They're like, who are these guys? Do you guys
Right.
work here or something?
Yeah.
No. I can't believe how many people were invited.
Yeah.
There was a lot of people that got invited to that. Obviously,
We're going to get on this list, and I'm going to figure out who it is.
I think we're on a list.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the wrong one.
We were on the list of do not contact.
Right, they have pictures of us. Do not let in.
It's right next to do not resuscitate.
Oh, by the way, side note, you got to stop sending me pictures from the 1999, launch of the Phantom Menace from Skywalker Ranch. You sent me so many pictures, and it's like a traveling back in time.
Yeah,
Like, I'm going through them, and I'm like, okay, and I'm like, Fred Durst.
It was the same video that I sent you, but this was like snapshots.
Oh,
so it was different people, right? It was we saw Katie Holmes.
Yep.
Which I think she was in the beginning of that video. That was that TRL video or whatever. But
Right.
Who else was on there? Because it was like 10 pictures or so.
Oh, there was everybody there. I mean,
Yeah.
It was like Paul Rudd was there, and well, you sent me that picture of Ryan Reynolds, who's just the most like a-hole douchebag
bro.
look ever.
Yes. Yeah, he's got like the frosted tips. And
Yeah, I think he might even have the shaved eyebrows.
Right.
It's not a fresh look. Well, Fred Durst stand next to Carmen Electra. I was like,
Yep.
holy shit, Carmen Electra. So yeah, it was funny to see all those people, but I was like, dude, you gotta stop sending me these. This is just freaking me out. There's like way too.
Does it make you feel old?
Oh yeah, for
Like
sure.
looking at that, I was like, oh, these people were all cool.
Speaking of cool, our show from a certain point of skew.com is our website. You can find us on Twitter at FACPA pod, and you can email us facpapod@gmail.com. Please leave us a voicemail if you would be so inclined. We'd love to hear your voice. We like to do a little breakdown of it. We do have one of those later today. 678 FACPA 77. That's 678-322-7277.
Yes. Give us a call. Even if like you're just looking for some advice, maybe
Yeah.
you're having a bad night, do one of those John Favreau calls where like you call and then you call back. And you just...
You know what? Never mind. Just, oh my God, that's so brutal, that call. Swingers. Good reference. Everything's 90s today.
Yep. On the show today, we've got a question of the week. Would real Acolyte please stand up? In the news, 2 things. James Mangold's Jedi Prime. Autobots. Skeleton Crew character reveal. What is this? Oh, yes, that's the image.
Yeah.
And then we've got the Acolyte Season 1 preview, and we'll go into a FACPA Answering Machine 1 voicemail.
So the question of the week is, I said there's a lot of mystery being presented in the Acolyte trailer. So who is the real Acolyte? And so we're obviously going to take some swings at that here a little bit later, but got some answers from everybody, which was great. Ash Rendar says, wait, wrong script. Jackie Lawn is the Acolyte. And then she says, or maybe the real Acolyte is the friends we made along the way.
She's a big Daphne Keane fan.
Loves Daphne Keane.
Yeah.
And I got to give her credit because she's been calling out Jackie as the Acolyte for a long time. So
Yeah.
if it comes around, she should get full credit for that. And because she later responded when I retweeted the quote of the week or question of the week and said like, hey, if you haven't answered, she responded again, like saying like, I told you it's Jackie Lawn.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give her double point
All right.
credit there.
All
So
right.
you get that credit, Dash. Next up is Brown Leader, Hyperspace Heroes. He says the Acolyte, you gotta listen to this one. The Acolyte is every Jedi Padawan that continues to be raised into the Jedi dogma that is slowly rotting from the inside due to their own hubris of importance in the galaxy as the righteous determinant of all that is good and proper.
Wow.
Tell us how you really feel.
Yeah. Brown Leader was not baptized.
I feel like the Jedi got a pass from us as a viewing audience for many, many years for their practice of taking kids out of their homes at very, very young ages.
Right.
for the greater good.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's only now in the last like 5 years where all of a sudden even the Star Wars properties we're watching, the series we're watching are like, maybe that's not the best thing.
Right. Yeah. Maybe they need to update their rules.
Right. Next is Jedi Hick. That's Wade from the Records of the Republic. Darth Jar Jar. You heard it here first. News broken by FACPA, the most reliable source out there. Okay. Gungans live longer than those little green pointy-eared guys do. Thus, the only explanation possible has to be Darth Jar Jar. Good try, Wade. I like your spirit.
Also, that would mean you're going back in time to make him Darth Jar Jar before he's just regular Jar Jar.
Well, because he's under the radar.
Right.
Yeah, he's on the sly, just like Sidious.
Oh, so we're saying like when we meet him in episode 1,
he's already
he's on the big pretend.
Oh yeah, he's already
okay.
There.
All right, I like it. I like it. He fooled me.
I'm gonna skip one ahead because that actually goes nicely with this one because same concept. This is Max Rebo experience. Not sure how I missed this. Hope I'm not too late. You're not. The Acolyte is Yoda. It'll be the longest con since Captain America said "Hail Hydra." Could you imagine if they made Yoda the Acolyte?
Oh.
The Star Wars saga completely flipped on its head.
People
People would riot.
Yeah, there'd be like it'd be like back in the pandemic when everyone's like, "Let's go to Area 51 and we're gonna Naratu run across like everyone's gonna fucking storm the gates at Disney and just burn fucking Mickey's castle down."
They'll storm the gates of Skywalker, and then George will come out and go, "Not me." And they're like, "Oh, sorry." Yeah.
What are you doing here, dude?
So finally, Adelphi Rangers, Carson Teva's great grandfather, also named Carson Teva. So apparently Carson Teva is like Carson Teva the 8th or something.
I'm starting to think this Adelphi Ranger is like a Smurf, where everything is Smurf. He just repeats Carson Teva like the Smurfs say Smurf.
Right. You would imagine he must have. I would love to see what his house looks like because it must be pictures of him everywhere.
Just like
pajamas.
Shit. Yeah, I'm what's his name? What's the 60s 70s artist name? With the 4 pictures.
Andy Warhol.
Yeah, he's Andy Warhol photos everywhere, but it's just Carson Teva. Big fucking murals and shit.
Somebody comes over to his house and they're like, "Do you know him?"
He's got like
we have a connection.
Printed pictures of him with lipstick on it. He's gone a little too far.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was it for question of the week. Thanks, everybody. You all get entries in our giveaway, which I'll talk about here in a second. We're still going to kind of figure that out, but we'll talk about that in a minute. You do get credits. Okay, to the news. James Mangold. Recently, producer Simon Emanuel was talking about how excited he is about Mangold's project, and he called it Jedi Prime, set thousands and thousands of years before the OT. So I'm guessing that's a working title.
That's what I'm thinking. Like,
right?
It's just like this is what we're going to call the project for now.
Yeah, because the era, what it's been referred to as is Dawn of the Jedi, but I think that's also what they're referring to, that whole era. So if they do other projects. So yeah, I'm not sure what they're going to end up calling it, but that's what he's referring to it as, and he's heavily involved in all this. I mean, this guy, I didn't realize he was a producer for Rogue One, Solo. He's a producer on The Acolyte. So, I mean, he's not speaking out of his ass.
Oh, wow.
This guy's involved. So.
Oh, wow. Let me ask you this. Yeah. Are you against that name if they're going to hold on to that title? Like if they
Jedi Prime.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if I like that name, but then again, I don't really get hung up on the titles.
No.
It's not really.
It almost sounds a little too awesome. Like if this is like the first one and
right,
the
it should be
or whatever.
Like, we should be down in the dirt, grassroots.
Yeah, this sounds to me like this whoever this guy is has got his shit together right away.
Yeah, Jedi Prime sounds like he's got a costume.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So maybe Jedi Prime wouldn't be the best name. Yeah. Yeah, it's got to be a working title. Apparently, in the source material for The Last Jedi, I didn't realize this until I was looking into it, there is a reference to the Prime Jedi being the first Jedi and the one who started the temple on Ahch-To. So there is that reference. But it's like Red Cup was the name of the Solo.
Right,
movie. Yeah. I don't think that's really what it's going to be. Who are they going to cast? We haven't talked about that really. Who are they going to cast in this monster role? It's got to be like Brad Pitt, right?
Oh my God! If you want to, right? Maybe it's too old though. Like I would say, maybe even 10 years ago, right? I mean, I guess you're gonna. Do you cast like 2? Like, do you have like the young version that ages a little bit? Like, you got to have like Jesus before he's dead, or even like what is it in the Bible? What does Kevin Smith always talk about? Like, there's never like teen angst Jesus,
right?
Right? Like it's just all of a sudden he's 30.
Yeah.
So you have like the story of the baby, and then he's 30.
Yeah. Well, I think, and I've said this before, you have to go with like a young up and comer, right? You can't go with somebody we know. I don't think so.
I got it. Because the big thing with Star Wars right now is, bring back the people who get the hate. Let them get the love again. Jake Lloyd.
Oh, fuck. That would be a swing.
Right.
Or I don't know if he's got kids. It'd be like Jake Lloyd's son, and then he plays the older version.
Oh, I'll tell you who it is right now. Fucking It Man himself, Glenn Powell.
Oh, God, he's everywhere.
He's at everything.
Have you seen, I just saw some of this shit on Twitter, like kind of breeze by, but people are all like, God, where'd this guy come from? And he's been around forever. I just didn't realize it. He was in all these different.
I saw a picture of him in one of the, what are the Spy Kids movies?
Oh, God.
I've noticed him. I know he's been around a lot longer than like he popped up. I guess Maverick was like the big one, right?
Yeah, of course.
And I remember even Maverick. I was like, who is this dude? He looks familiar, but I didn't realize like he was a childhood actor. Like he'd been around that long.
I had no idea, but I think it's just because maybe he comes onto the scene now with Top Gun, huge, massive movie. And you're like, look at this motherfucker. It's like,
right.
It's like how you draw up handsome man.
Boy. And and he's just fucking like living the dream life, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
Everything fucking cast him in Twisters. There was a Butch Cassidy and Sundance like mini series they were going to do on one of the streamers that he signed up for. I think he was the Robert Redford role. I haven't heard anything about it since he signed up, but he was an executive producer on it. So like he was a creator on it. So I won't be surprised if that's still going to happen at some point.
Well,
but then he was just cast. What did he just sign up for?
Well, fuck, he's going to win people's sexiest man then, right?
Why?
Because he's the Mr. Handsome guy and the it guy of today.
Well, from what I hear, that Hitman movie that's coming out that hits theaters, and then 2 weeks from now it goes to Netflix with him and Binks. Like that's like Binks. And he was a writer on that with Richard Linklater. So, I'm going to throw
Richard Linklater wrote that.
Richard Linklater wrote and directed with Glenn Powell. Yeah,
I didn't realize that. Holy shit.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Huh. So, who do you think?
I don't know. I think you got to go.
Jedi Jesus.
I think you got to go up and comer. I just feel like Star Wars especially does a really good job with young, talented actors and actresses. So make it one of them. Pick a young actor or actress and make them the new. Well, we got some time, although maybe not. It sounds like this one's kind of moving along a little bit. They're even talking about how this one could come sooner than you think. But
well, I had read the other day that Mangold's Swamp Thing looks to be gearing up to shoot next year.
Oh, okay. Then he's busy.
Yeah, but that wasn't a confirmation, but that was like something I was reading about the DC films, and that one seems to be further along than some of the other things.
Okay. I forgot that was his other project that was in between. Yeah. Well, and I mean, I think, of course, because it's the first Jedi, there could be some pressure on who the casting is,
right?
But I think it's less pressure than who the fuck it was cast as Anakin or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I think you can get away with taking a swing at somebody. And like I said, just make it somebody who's an up-and-comer who we associate as that role versus like, fucking George Clooney's the guy. And then you're like, well, it's George Clooney.
Right. Right.
So next up, Skeleton Crew, leave it to the toys to tip off bits
Every
about
time.
these upcoming series. The fucking star, like the Lego set, always does stuff. This time it's an ingot, which I had to look up. I was like, what the fuck is an ingot? I know what an EGOT is, but an ingot, it's that picture I put in the doc. It's this little like metallic, collectible with kind of imagery carved into it. And this is one of the Skeleton Crew, and it kind of shows the four main kids, which we've really seen before in that sneaky over the shoulder footage. We kind of got a glimpse of who these four kids were going to be.
That's right.
So
yeah.
It's not a total shock.
I guess I didn't remember there being a little like baby Max Rebo.
You don't?
Baby Rebo.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so it's like 3 human characters and one Ortolan is what they call that. But yeah, I mean, I think the more I look into the show, the more I'm like, okay, they talked Stranger Things, they talked E.T., they talked Goonies, of which I love all of those. But the more I look into it, the more I'm like, boy, this is going to be pretty kid level, isn't it?
Yeah, I didn't realize they were that young.
Yeah, so I think this is going to be. It's not going to be as dark as some of the other stuff we've seen. It's not going to be quite as heavy. I think it's going to be more fun.
This show has been held back so long. Like if they do a second season, they're all going to be 3 or 4 years fucking older. Like, didn't this shoot during the pandemic?
They'll have to. I think it did. They'll have to fast forward.
Yeah.
Yeah. It definitely shot. Well, God, yeah, it must have shot 2 years ago. So yeah, these kids are going to be old.
Because it was shooting. Did it start shooting during or just after the first season of Andor?
That's a good question. I can't remember when it started. I just remember that at not what it was. It was it last Celebration last year when Jude Law came out, and they had filmed it by then. So it is. I think it's a good year and a half, 2 years old before when they filmed it. So because it was supposed to originally come out this past December.
So who's the one with the visor, boy or girl?
I think that's a girl.
Okay.
Maybe everybody's like, why are we seeing anything about this show? And I think it's because they've got everything into Acolyte right now. But the second Acolyte's over, I think you're going to see a big push for Skeleton Crew over the summer.
Did like the marketing team for Lucasfilm take Disney hostage? Like, what the fuck is happening? All of a sudden, you can't wake up without 2 new TV spots and an internet trailer and something happening every day.
See, but I think that they did this at least with like Kenobi. I think they did this, and I think they did this with at least some of the Mando seasons. They pushed hard on them pretty early. Like they gave you a lot of these little glimpses to the point where you were almost like, okay, I don't want to see anymore because I just want to watch the show.
That's what I am with this. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's just, it's the current one. So that's why it's more, it's the recency bias thing.
Well, it does seem like within about 30 days, they throw everything at the wall, but this to me just seems real aggressive.
It is, and I'm okay with it. Like you said, I don't want to see too much, but at the same time, we've seen them undermarket shit and fucking tank movies before.
Right, and the thing I think with this one is more than the other ones is there's a lot of unrecognizable shit. So they're really like, hey, see us over here. We're the different one, you know.
Yeah.
So
that's one of the exciting things. Let's get into the Acolyte season 1 review or preview, I should say. I do want to warn our listeners that we might be dipping below our 60% knowledge on this because we are not well versed in the High Republic. There are a lot of things here that I hear people talking about, making references to, and I'm like, I don't know what that is. We're gonna do the best we can. And like you said, the hype train has kicked in. I love that it's a different era. I love that we're gonna get totally new characters.
Yeah.
We'll get into like who we might see cameo wise, but I just my biggest hope is that it's well received because I want a show that's outside the Skywalker saga to do well so that they have the courage to do more.
Do more. Yeah.
So that's my hope. And it sounds like, so far, just in some of the responses that I've seen, granted, maybe it's who they are catering to originally, but a lot of positive response so far on the people that have watched the first 2 to 4 episodes.
I've seen a lot of people arguing on Twitter already about that. Well, you're just saying it's good because you were invited there, and like, how are you going to say it was bad? And you're an influencer and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, I can see that, but if someone didn't like it.
I think there's a little validity to that, but I think people are overdoing it, I think once you get the full spectrum of critics, you'll get a better taste. But also, we're just going to see the damn thing ourselves, and we can decide for ourselves.
Yep.
So the other thing I was going to mention is because of the fact that we don't know as much about these characters, I think we're going to tie ourselves in knots with theories about what's happening, and everybody's going to laugh at everything we say. So just going to warn you there too.
Yes. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to being wrong.
We know the basic premise of the show. We know who some of the characters are. We've read some about it, but we are definitely going to be wrong. And by the way, for those who are worried, like yourself, maybe episodes are supposed to only be 30 to 35 minutes each. That's what they're saying. I know you want more. Although it sounds like the first 2 episodes are around like 90 to 100 minutes, so a little bit longer to start. But yeah.
Together? Or the first 2 episodes?
Together.
Okay. All right.
So you're going to have that. There's going to be that week. It's going to be like episode 5 is going to be 27 minutes and people are going to shit their pants. Starting out with kind of the look and feel and vibe of the show, I wanted to kind of get your thoughts as far as, it certainly seems like it's going to be a pretty dark show kind of from the perspective of the bad guys, if you want to call it that, versus the good guys. What are your thoughts on that?
I've seen some people complain about like the kung fu kind of aspect of it. I like it almost gives it like it shows it's a different fighting style for a different area. They haven't gone to something else, right? And almost like you're not used to seeing a lot of the hand to hand.
Yeah.
And
there's a couple things there. One is there's that whole Terrace Kasi thing that we heard about in Solo that Kira's doing and all that. The other is, in general, there's a lot of just kind of body control stuff that happens with Jedi. But I heard like we talked. I heard she was telling me on a call that this is an era where, how'd she say it? It was something like the Jedi aren't having to take their sabers out much. Hey-oh. Because it's a more peaceful time.
Right.
So perhaps they're a little bit more. They're in more de-escalation mode than attack mode.
Yeah, they're it's a time of peace, right? So yeah, like maybe some training, but there's a big difference between training a lot and actually fighting. So
yeah, and this feeds into the whole Jedi are trained to defend, not attack. The moves you see from Carrie-Anne Moss and from I'm forgetting his goddamn name right now. I have it written down somewhere. Lee Jung-jae are very like they're just dodge. You know, so and that is what we were told the Jedi do. So they're paying homage to that. But like visually,
do that fucking shot with the ship going through like the ring or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's got the rocks above and below, and you can see it looks like it's chasing another, and the way it's sliding. I mean, they're tying for Andor's fucking what's that? What's the I forget the sky, when they do the heist and they go into the meteor shower.
I almost said Denali. It's not Denali.
Yeah.
Aldani. The night where all that shit. Yes.
Yeah, like visually, man, that's fucking awesome looking.
Yeah, the space stuff looks great, but the nice thing too for me is that it clearly looks like they made a lot of practical sets. You know, a lot of these things are happening not in the volume with a screen behind them, but like literally they built the things. So that always lands better for me. The one gripe I had that I shared with you, and I think it's because it's just going to be fixed in post or whatever, is there was that one trailer where there's a shot of, I can't remember the guy's name because we'll get to it in a minute. It's the young guy who's kind of the, by the book Jedi guy. And he's holding a saber. What's his name?
Is it Yord?
Something like that. I think you're right. He's holding his saber, and it literally looks like the ones you buy at Galaxy's Edge. Yeah. Like you can see the outline of it. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? But then I think I've seen other shots where it looks like proper sabers.
Okay.
So I think it was just in that particular shot. But you're right. The fight choreography looks amazing. I mean, I love the fact that they're literally like, we want to do better than the fight in Qui-Gon.
Duel Fates. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Aim high,
right.
Like fucking try to beat those. And it just seems like we're going to get a lot of that. A lot of smaller scale battles, not big, huge Geonosis fucking battles.
Right.
But like one-on-one, one-on-two, like these like little battles, which I really enjoy.
I mean, visually, I think this looks better. For what we've seen with like Jedi stuff, this is the best it's looked, I think, at least on the small screen, right?
I think so.
Like way better than Kenobi, but just however you want to define the look, Andor holds the top, and I think this now might raise the bar.
And somebody described it that way. I think it may be one of those reviews. It was kind of like Andor with lightsabers.
Okay, yeah,
kind of had that vibe to it.
Yeah.
Well, let's get into the characters. Amanda Stenberg, of course, being the main one, and it sure seems from everything that we see in the trailers and all the talk that it sure seems that they're building up the twin theory that everybody has.
Yeah, and there's even two of them on the poster.
There are. Yep. And they look different. One's got the mask, one doesn't. The two outfits, one's got like the chainmail and shit. The other one has just like the vest.
What if she's just, like she's doing a Luthen, right? Where like she just thinks like one of the disguises is better than the other. No one can tell it's me.
It could be. There's a lot of, that's the thing is I think because once people started talking about it being a twin, everybody leaned into that. Now, if it wasn't a twin, I think that would be the twist. Everybody's just expecting it that there's two of them. But I don't know. I mean, and the thing is, there's all this talk that keeps happening in the trailers about like people asking like, who trained you? So there's a lot of confusion. And so is that like, oh, I know, I recognize you, but you're not fighting like I trained you to or whatever. Yeah. So I don't know. It seems like there's a lot of room there to do something with. I mean, Leslie Headland is a Star Wars head. She fucking loves Star Wars, which is great. But and that was what we talked about before at the writer's room. She brought in people who were not Star Wars people to kind of have a good mix. But she cited at one point as a big inspiration that episode of Clone Wars, the animated show, where Ahsoka gets set up by Barriss.
Yes.
Which kind of makes you think, okay, so is this going to be one sister's doing shit and the other one's getting blamed?
I mean, from the trailer, you kind of get that feeling, right? And to me, there's the shot where she's the runner from the fire, and you get the feeling like maybe that's, like as a child, that's where she's found. And then she goes off to the Jedis to train. But what was it that took her away? So did she have a sister and know about it and think her sister died, and she's running, and then sometime a few years later she gets back in touch with her and finds out like, she's the one being lied to, or the Jedi, or you know what I mean?
Right. I could see that. I mean, the other thing that happens that you have to keep in mind too is there's that scene with it's when they go see Jodie Turner-Smith's character, Mother Anasea. There's a lot of stuff going on there because there's a point in one of the trailers where Lee Jung-jae, Saul is the guy's name.
Yeah. He's
like presenting a saber to a little girl when they're there visiting Mother Anasea. So to me, I thought, okay, so does that mean that they took the other one's pissed that they were separated and that's part of her anger?
Oh yeah, right.
Or is it they didn't know that there was another twin? They didn't know there was another daughter, or whatever, another sister. So it leaves all the trailers. They're doing a good job of leaving like 16 different options open, which I think is kind of fun. And well, there's that point, like I said too, where the one that we're meant to think is good, which I believe somebody said is her name's Osha, potentially. That was in one of the trailers or one of the captions of the trailers.
One of the trailers, the second trailer, the newest one, opens up, and on whoever says the first line, and I was like, who is that character?
Did it say Osha?
I'd have to look it up again.
Okay. Yeah, you learn a lot from the captions,
right?
That's why I watch my second viewing of every show is always with captions on. Yeah, she's the one where she does that scene where she runs to, she's run through the caves and they're kind of chasing after her, and then she stops and she said, "I didn't do it, believe me."
Straight from the fucking Fugitive, right?
I didn't kill my wife.
Say, I don't care.
She did a Peter Pan right off of this thing. And that could be her duping them, We don't know, but it certainly is setting it up to look like her sister May is off doing evil shit, and she's getting blamed because they're identical.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I also have a really dumb theory. You ready for it?
Yes.
It's so dumb. And I apologize to any of our podcasting friends who have made the same guess. I purposely don't listen to other shows until we do our stuff so I don't steal anything. What if it's not two characters, but two personalities in the same person?
Oh, yeah.
We have a split personality situation. I don't think that's going to happen, but I just thought maybe that's the thing. Because the only reason, the reason this popped into my head is there's a scene where they show that thing where whenever they reference like somebody's killing Jedi, they show May go in. There's like a guy like in a white robe or something that she goes after with a knife. But
and it looks like he's like still.
Yeah, he's like suspended.
Mm-hmm.
There's another scene, very, very quick, where they show the Osha character with the vest come down into that room like afterward. And it made me think, did she kill this guy and then like go and then like her mind flipped and then she went down and it was like, who killed? You know what I mean? Like she doesn't know what the other one's doing.
Right. Yeah. So she's trying to solve the mystery of
her own
herself doing.
Correct. It's like a Moon Knight.
I like it. Yeah.
Total stab in the dark. It's probably way wrong. There's like a 0.1% chance that's real.
Mm-hmm. It is a brave thing for Les Edlund to sit in the writer's room and be like, okay, so I'm thinking twins.
Yes. And they're like, wait a minute.
They're like,
we know you're a fan.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is like, we thought you were a fan. This isn't a new thing.
No. Hold on, guys, get this. Yeah. She puts it on the whiteboard and then like reveals it. Twins. Yeah. Yeah, great idea. But this is obviously a different take on the twins. I don't know. It just, and then also made me think like because what you're trying to figure out is which one was the Padawan? Which one is the one who's training with Saul? Is it May or is it Osha? You would certainly think it's May, but then he's the one who's saying like, who the fuck trained you when he meets up with her again? So maybe she's the evil version of the actual good Padawan that he trained.
Yep.
It's very open to a lot of theories, I think.
So the one that we think is May is the one that's fighting Indara, right?
Yes.
We're led to believe that that's May.
Correct.
Which means,
and she's fighting, and she fights Saul later as well.
Mm-hmm. But Saul, that's the one also that we see Saul say that to.
Correct.
So if he says that, I mean, she looks like that, but that might not be the one.
It might not. And did you notice that when she fights Indara, and then also when she fights Saul, she's of course fighting with her knives. Mm-hmm. She reaches for she tries to take their lightsabers.
Yes.
So is this a thing where, again, maybe Osha was the one taken as the Padawan? May is pissed off and wants revenge because they took her sister away from her. But all the while she's like, I want one of those fucking sabers,
Was it us that was talking about like there's a last episode, did we say like it's a contest? The one who kills the most Jedis gets to be the Acolyte?
Oh, I don't remember that conversation. You might have had that on the sly with somebody else. I don't remember that.
Okay. Well, either way, maybe but the thing is, it's like not only do you have to kill the most Jedis, but you have to use their own weapon to kill them.
Oh, that's an added challenge.
Yeah. But you see after we're led to believe after the fight with Indara, she leaves the lightsaber on the ground and walks away from it.
Yes, but so let's talk about Indara for a second. So obviously fucking top of her game, Jedi Master. Yeah. She's just like so calm, cool. I love that whole sequence. Right. Unfortunately, I think she's going to get killed, like you said. Seems like that's the way because everything else we see of her in the trailers is her looking at it in the flashback.
Right.
But did you catch that May at one point has the little green vial?
Yes.
And I was like, first I thought maybe that's like glacier water, like Bobby Boucher. It's not.
No.
You remember when Bobby Boucher came back?
It's her cocaine vial.
It could be. Yeah, you want to go have a bump? Anyway, I'm wondering if that's the kyber crystal that she takes from Indara's saber.
Right.
So she just wants the crystal. Yep. So you can take your fucking saber.
That's all she's just collecting those.
Yeah. She's like, there's going to be a guy many years from now who's going to collect sabers with many arms. I'm not doing that shit. I'm just going kyber crystal. Maybe he's paying homage to her when he's doing that. He's like, I'm going to take the whole damn saber. What else? There was something else I was going to say about Jodie Turner-Smith's character, and I'm trying to remember because that's an interesting.
Well, there's a few things you brought up. Like they've got the little kid at that one point, and that looks like it's so. Is he giving her the lightsaber, and then they're giving the child to them to raise to turn into a Jedi, right?
It seems that way.
And then also there's the one shot with where they're all standing in front of them, and the boy's eyes turn black.
Yes, it's the guy from 1917. What's his name? I got his name here somewhere. Dean Charles Chapman. He's Master Tobin. And yes, and that's where you're going. Is he getting killed or is he being converted? What do you think they did a trade? We'll give you this guy. You give us the girl.
Yeah. We don't really care for this one.
You get the
it's
guy.
A sacrifice.
Yeah, you get the guy and future considerations, and we get the girl.
Yeah. It's like how they do trades.
Yeah, right.
Team trade.
Yeah, I don't know. Her character is really interesting because I don't know exactly. I mean, they're supposed to be like a coven of witches or whatever, whatever they refer to them. But
do you think it's like an offshoot or not? That's the only way I can describe it of the Night Sisters.
It seems that way.
Like there's the Night Sisters we know of. Now we know of the Mountain Sisters, we'll call them, right?
Yeah.
And they seem to be the light.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other ones wore the red, but they use the dark force magic. So what do these ones use?
Right. And they certainly seem to be operating in their own mode. Like there's light and dark. You can fuck off. We're doing our own thing. Because she has this pep talk with May where she's talking to her about, what does she say? Destiny isn't decided for you by a mysterious force. If you want to pull the thread and change everything, then pull it. So she's really like, she's clearly some sort of mentor or mother figure to May.
Yeah.
But I really feel like they're operating on their own deal. They're not associated with the Sith, I don't think.
Well, isn't there's something, and this was a while back when I think maybe the first trailer came out, the teaser, something about the hand, or there's some group in the High Republic that like they don't agree with the Jedi way or something, right? And
it's Band of the Hand. Just kidding. That was a great 80s movie if you ever.
Oh yeah.
Band of the Hand.
No, they've got some name like that though, and there's something to the way that they're attuned to the Force, but they don't like the way that the Jedi use it. They don't think you should use it or something.
Oh, I see. That makes sense. This is where our less than 60% is hurting us.
So you haven't heard of that, okay?
Not enough. Like I said, I need to go back and start rereading Light of the Jedi and just plow through these books because everybody says, especially the first phase or whatever it was really good. They said some people have some issues later on, but they said the first phase is excellent. And I enjoyed the first half of the book I read. It's a lot of new people to keep track of.
Yeah.
I mean, so you're trying to figure out who the fuck are all these people? Who's on that ship? Who died? Who's going to save them? There's a lot going on.
Right.
And I'm not very smart, so I got to write it all down. I got a spreadsheet for it. Lee Jung-jae looks like a pretty fucking sweet character.
Yes.
A lot of people are likening him to kind of a Qui-Gon-like character. It made me wonder, too. So if he is the one who offers the saber to May, and then later he's like, who trained you? Does he know, if there's twins, does he know there's two of them? Probably not.
I think I don't think they do.
Yeah.
At least from what I'm looking at the trailer, if there's twins, that's why she's no longer part of the Jedi Order. She went out looking for her sister or something.
Right.
So I guess like if she would have said, I'm going to go look for my sister, fuck y'all. So maybe that's all they know, but I don't think like they had both of them at one point, you know?
Well, he's got an interesting thing there. He's got to grapple with his feelings for his old Padawan and also doing, what's right for the Order and all that stuff. But I think he's going to be a really intriguing character. I'm looking forward to seeing him.
Agreed.
I did not see Squid Game, so I'm not.
I haven't either, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Talked about Carrie-Anne Moss. Let's get to this Sith-like person. So is this guy or gal that we see with the red saber?
Zipper face?
Zipper face. Good. Is this person supposed to be like the apprentice to the Sith? Because there's kind of three levels. It's like mafia style,
Yeah.
And so you've got the Sith Lord, you got the apprentice, and then you got the acolyte under that. It's kind of like a capo in the mafia.
Right. Okay.
So that's what I'm thinking this person
Mhm.
is. I don't think this is the Sith Lord. I think this is like the apprentice to the Sith Lord.
I agree.
Is that what you're thinking?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so who is it? Does that mean it's one of these Darths that we've heard about? Is it Darth fucking Plagueis?
No, 'cause
Everybody's talking
I
about
think
that?
this dude's. Well, there's one point where you see his fucking helmet on the ground.
So you think he's going to die?
So is there a head in there?
Good question.
Yeah.
Or did he just, need it, or she needed to
Uh-huh.
just take it off and be like, God damn, it's sweaty in that thing.
Right. I can't breathe in this thing.
I got helmet hair.
It's dark helmet.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are speculating, like Darth Plagueis, who is Sidious's master, and Darth Tenebrous, however you say it.
Yeah.
Who, by the way, I had to look into this stuff again because it had been a while since I looked at it. Darth Tenebrous is a Bith. So like modal node guys in the fucking Cantina species.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay. Well, which one? Tenebrous is before Plagueis, right?
So here's what it is, because I had to write it down. This is my understanding of the Darth chronology. It's Darth Bane.
Yeah.
Big rule of two guy. Not into
Yeah.
threesomes. Just
no,
two.
no, or any sums after threesome.
That's right. The
Yeah.
dark side is best when it's one on one.
Yeah.
So
He's a big monogamy guy.
yes. Followed by Darth Xana, which I don't know much about, Darth Tenebrous, Darth Plagueis, and then of course Darth Sidious, and then of course from there.
Right.
That's kind of the sequence of the main Darths. Now you have some others along the way, because we had Darth Tyrannus and Darth Maul and whatever.
Right. Right.
But that's kind of the sequence. So I don't know. I mean, I think you're right. I think if anything, the Sith Lord at this time might be Tenebrous or Plagueis or whatever.
Well, Leslie Headland said that she had played with the idea of using
Darth Bane.
or having one of them mentioned, right? And then she says you don't hear him mentioned in the first season. She decided
mentions
not to.
Darth Bane.
Which would already be long dead by now, anyways.
I think, again, this is where I get a little wrong with the chronology of the Darths, but I would think it would be after him. So Darth Xana or Darth Tenebrous. But
it would have to be, because of the timeline, it would have to be Tenebrous to Plagueis. So if Zipperface doesn't lose his head, that might be Plagueis.
it could be.
Although he's not a human either. Doesn't he have a big old head?
What is I'm trying to remember what he looks like. I only looked up Tenebrous.
I think he looks like the Andy Dick character, and he's got the big fucking
the
cone head.
Kiadi Mundi.
Yeah,
He's one
like
of those.
I don't know if he's exactly that, but it's something, because on the cover of the book he's got a.
Oh, right. You're right. Yes, he's a moon or mun or a moon.
Yes, that's
mun.
what it is.
So big, long, tall head.
Mhm.
Yes, you're right. It doesn't really fit with what we see in there. I just think that there's
Maybe that's why he took the helmet off.
fucking thing won't fit.
Like-
God damn it.
Yeah.
That's why you got the zipper. It's like a luggage when you have to undo the zipper to add
Yeah.
more room.
It
more space.
extends.
Yeah. Oh, this is why people listen to our show.
Oh boy.
For all the hard-hitting facts.
Get that image out of your head every time you see this fucker in the Acolyte.
Expand helmet. My zipper stuck.
Yeah.
Fucking zipper stuck. I mean, imagine how many times you get that zipper stuck. Oh.
He doesn't even die by anybody. He just dies of suffocation. He can't get the zipper down.
I knew I should have got Velcro. Fuck.
Oh boy.
Oh man. Yeah. So I think in the end, you're right.
No, hold on. I'm sorry, I keep cutting you off, but and this is why the origin of all of the Darths after have the oxygen thing. Because
They're not gonna take it off.
just in case you get trapped in your helmet, you almost suffocate to death. You've got a breathing apparatus.
Do you know the tale of Darth Tenebrous and the zipper helmet? That's how he died, you know. Fucking got to be like Houdini to get out of that goddamn thing. So in the end, yes, I think you're right. I think the Sith Lord at the time is somebody we know. I think that person is the apprentice who could easily be killed.
Yes.
Maybe by May.
Right.
So she could take his spot.
Well, yeah, because I feel like we were talking about this. I think, like, because the Acolyte probably means more than one thing, right? So right now, Zipperface is probably the Acolyte, but I think Zipperface is going down and someone else is looking to become the next Acolyte.
I think he's either the Acolyte or he's the apprentice. He's not the Lord.
Right. Yeah.
Now you've mentioned, as have others, the resemblance of this character's helmet to being maybe a member of your favorite boy band.
Mm-hmm. Boys to Ren. Yeah.
The timeline is way different, of course, but I have seen many fan theories about this going back to the original Ren, which I guess Ren is actually another term for a lightsaber. But there was an original Ren, and Star Wars Meg talked about this, so shout out to her. And I've read some other articles about it. Essentially, the Order of Ren is established by this guy named Ren. This dude was like the predecessor for Kylo. Now, granted, that's a big gap, because I don't think it would make him old enough to be in this era unless he's some particular character that, lives for hundreds of years or whatever. Yeah. But he was mostly around, this guy, in the story, in the information I found on Wikipedia, he was mostly around during like the Galactic Empire time. So, and he was even aligned with Kira in Crimson Dawn at one point, this guy Ren, which is kind of a fun little wrinkle. But kind of operated independently of the good guys and the bad guys, kind of did his own thing, which we're seeing a lot more of that pop up. But some were suggesting that there's an original Ren who goes back even further than that guy.
Pre-Ren.
Pre-Ren. There's a new name. The other concept is Ren is it like the Dread Pirate Roberts? Is Ren like the name that the people get handed down over time, so it's always a different person? There wasn't actually a person named Ren.
Yes. Okay.
You like that theory?
And that's why the Boys to Ren, there's different helmets.
That's right.
At one point, the group collectively decides to wear all the different Ren's helmets.
Oh, so there's the past Rens.
Yeah.
These are artifacts.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, Zipperface is just first. Yeah.
Because it was flawed.
Yeah, you had to. When you're first, sometimes you fuck things up. There's a.
That's why they have all those like old school weapons, because they also work to pry open the fucking helmet.
Right. Yeah.
Like a can opener.
You don't need the can opener again.
Should we be using these weapons? I don't think they're that great. You ever get your helmet stuck? Yeah. Talk to me about it later. You'll thank me later. By the way, also on a funny note, in one of those Legos Star Wars specials, there was a character of Ren who appeared and is voiced by Christian Slater.
Yeah.
He has said he is interested in doing the character in live action. How fucking amazing would it be if that zipper unzips, the helmet comes off, and he's like, greetings and salutations? You'd come in your pants.
Oh my God, would I? we would have a fucking audio drop for the rest of the show. Full circle.
Oh, that would be amazing.
So yeah, to those who don't know, the greetings and salutations comes from Pump Up the Volume. Or,
that's right,
as my stepdad would write down on the VHS tape, turn up the volume.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did I ever tell you a dumb side story about this friend of mine, Brian, lived down in LA and lived with this guy actually ended up being on The Real World at one point. And this guy's telling him this story about how, hey, I'm writing this movie. And he's like, yeah. He goes, what's it about? And he's like, yeah, it's about this guy, and he's got like this underground radio station, and nobody knows it's him, but he like kind of walks among the people, and they don't realize it's him, and he does all this edgy stuff and gets this big cult following. And Brian's like, you mean Pump Up the Volume?
Oh no.
And he's like, well, yeah, no, it's different though.
Oh, I thought like this guy was like, he'd never even heard of the movie.
He literally was doing, like beat for beat what happens in Pump Up the Volume. It's like, dude, nice try. Hey, in this day and age where there's a lot of repeats going on, he'd be fucking golden. But
right.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Very funny. Anyway, Yord Fandar, Charlie Barnett. So this guy, is he going to die? Is that just what it is? Or is he actually going to be turned bad? Like, what's his deal going to be?
He's the one that you say goes by the rules, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
And he, at one point in one of the trailers, he is locked up with the red saber.
Yeah.
So that might be where he dies.
Or
he
takes the helmet off, right? He releases the zipper, so to speak. And then he's like, you know what? I got to cover up this fucking hairdo. So he puts the helmet on.
Fits like a glove.
Yeah.
Can't get it off now. Yeah. It seems like he's overcompensating for something. He's very, and there's an interesting relationship, I think, between him and Daphne Keene's character, Jackie Long. Because I think she is like, my hunch from what it looks like and what I've read about is that like she's kind of the shit and he wants to be the shit and is not.
Okay. All right.
That's my understanding. Because she ends up being the Padawan of Saul. Like she's his new Padawan.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. So, and of course we know many theories about her being the possible Acolyte, because you see her in a couple different shots, but then that's kind of it. I mean, that's the other thing you start to try to deduce from these trailers is like, well, I only saw him in these two scenes, so maybe they are the one in the mask,
Yeah.
I never saw Logan. I know I've actually seen the very end of Logan. That's it.
Oh man,
Just the ruined part.
you should probably put the whole movie in front of it first.
I should. Is that how it works? I don't know.
Yes.
But she plays X-23 in that,
Yeah.
and it sounds like Headland was a huge fan of that. Was basically like, I want to bring that into Star Wars. So you would think she's going to be a pretty badass character.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and I think the promise of this is going to be a badass character helps if she's going to have to. She's the only one that's going to have to sit in a makeup chair for 8 hours a day.
right.
So
Yeah. The rest of them get off pretty scot-free.
mm-hmm.
Manny Jacinto, is Khmer, I guess how you say. He's like the traitor. Some people are saying they think his character could be one of the Sith characters on the sly. He's the one who's talking to May about like how, hey, the Jedi are like kind of manipulating.
Doesn't he give some speech in the trailer that's basically the words of the Sith or something?
Yes, I think he uses one of the lines that the Sith is like one of their forming principles or whatever.
Yep.
So a lot of people are kind of sniffing around him, thinking like, is he going to be the guy in the zipper helmet?
Yeah, and what's he? He's like running like the galactic pawn shop or something.
Yeah, he's like a trader. They got a trade post. Yeah,
right.
So he could be kind of operating on undercover. You got Rebecca Henderson, who's Leslie Headland's wife, who's playing Vernestra Rowe, the old wise Jedi. She's the one she's the only character from the High Republic that's supposed to be in this season.
Right.
Again, she's real young in those books that we have not read yet.
It was specifically said the only character from the books.
I believe that was said by Leslie Headland.
Excluding Yoda?
Because Yoda's in those books? I haven't even read the books that far.
Yoda's in the books, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because we'll get to that because we gotta have Yoda show up at some point.
Mm-hmm.
I believe she said that somewhere. I might be wrong. She's got that saber whip though, and everybody's fucking up in arms about that saber.
I think it looks fucking awesome.
It looks pretty cool, and it frankly it comes from like the books. Like this is not new. This didn't come out of nowhere.
Right.
So I mean, I know there's may have been Legends books or whatever, but
I want someone to fucking like just hand George Lucas one. Because he's all about the fucking whip. Right?
Well, he loved Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
So it's the crossover.
Yeah. So like get a picture of him doing it and then just have the world meltdown because they paid George or he was forced or shut the fuck up.
It would be great if she showed on screen and they played the Indiana Jones theme song.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Even just like there's a note or two of it. Like you just enough to be like, oh, I see what you did.
I got it. Yeah, that's always that subtle thing. You're right. Like just like 3 notes.
Right.
You're like, okay, I get it. We didn't talk about Eunice Swatamo, I think is how you say his name, the tall guy who plays the Wookiees, the guy who played Chewie.
Oh,
He's
right,
gonna
right.
Play Master Kelnaka. Now this is interesting because he's described as like this Wookiee Jedi like loner.
Right. Well, it seems like he just goes off and lives in the woods and just wants to be peaceful and like, he's like I've had enough, leave me the fuck alone.
Yeah.
And then the one shot in the trailer is just him coming down with like a battle axe fucking lightsaber, like he's ready to murder. I was like, oh, I don't think he's ready all into the piece right now.
Well, and it looks like he's fighting Saul. So, and it looks like a young Saul. So it's one of those, because then later on he's with that crew when they go to see Mother Anastasia. So
yeah.
I think that there's a bit of like we need to gather up a few people kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so I think he goes to see him and he gets attacked. And then there's like a moment of, dude, same team. And he's like, sorry.
Didn't we hear he actually talks?
Oh, does he really?
I think we heard like this. Yeah.
He doesn't just speak. Oh God, what's it called? Fuck. Pod brain.
Wookish?
I don't know what it's called. I can't remember.
Okay. I'm not even going to fucking pretend right now. So,
no.
Yeah.
There's a name for it. I don't know what it is. Max Rebo, we look forward to your tweet.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a few other people that are mentioned, but we don't know who they are. Like Margarita Levieva is in this. Lisa P. from Adventureland.
Oh, I don't even know. I'd have to watch Adventureland again. Which one is that?
She's the attractive gal that he goes on the date with. And everybody's like, Lisa P's in town or back.
Okay. And is that the one where they go to her house? Don't they end up at someone's house in the basement and they're having beers?
I thought that's Ryan Reynolds' house. Creepy motherfucker.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, because he's a creep in that fucking movie.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
But isn't he supposed to be like the cool guy?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But he's
like the older dude
grew up and he still hangs out with all the kids.
Lives in his mom's basement and hangs out with the kids. Yeah. Fucking creep. Anyway. Amy Sang is in it. I think a Jedi maybe. Abigail Thorne is somebody called Ensign Eurus. So some sort of High Republic officer, maybe. David Harewood has been rumored to be in it. He was in, oh, God damn it. If you looked him up, you'd recognize him. He's been in a couple things. I'm blanking. And then who's going to be the voice of Pip, that adorable handheld little repair droid?
I don't know.
Have you seen that little thing?
Yep.
And it looks like Osha, the potentially good twin, is the one who's toting that thing around. It's probably just going to be bops and buzzes and stuff. It's not going to be an actual voice.
Oh, this guy, didn't he play the Martian Manhunter or something in one of the TV shows?
I can't remember. When it was rumored, they mentioned what he was in, and I don't know if I'd seen that.
Yeah, I've seen him and stuff. Good actor.
Yes. That's kind of it for the characters. I didn't know if you had anybody else that you wanted to bring up, but like that's a lot of them. I mean, we could talk about cameos maybe. We did get a shot of some Nemoidians, so we're going to get those. Now there are 2 of them.
Huh?
Nemoidians, the guys from the Phantom Menace, the Trade Federation.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, there's those dudes are going to be in it.
You even did the voice, too.
No, I should have done the voice. Sorry. Yoda, Yaddle, Plo Koon. Those are all the rumors. Somebody takes a look at that Plo Koon character and thinks it's Plo Koon. I mean,
it's Plo Koon.
It probably is, right?
Or it's his twin.
Another twin.
Yeah.
Fuck.
They're pretty common in that galaxy far, far away.
So many twins. God, it runs in the galaxy. Yeah, we got to get Yoda at some point, I would think. Even if it's just a little snippet of him. I don't think you need to do a lot of Yoda, but I think you need to give us just a little taste of Yoda.
You know what I thought was really cool is I saw someone post something the other day, and the robes they're wearing with the golden scarves or whatever, the symbol that's on it, it was his name. Had it.
Jedi Prime.
Who's the guy that like the fucking historian for Lucasfilm?
Oh, Hidalgo, Pablo.
Yeah, Pablo Hidalgo. He was the one that said take the symbol from the Jedi floor, the council room, and the leaves or whatever they are. You know that's on the scarf. So he's like it matches.
Right. Is this also the same thing that they said was on Octo in a shot? Is it the same one where it's almost like a yin and yang kind of thing?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. I think. Yeah.
Now that has to be Octo, right?
It certainly fucking looks like it. It'd be weird if it wasn't.
Yeah. And even if for a Sith, like, I mean, because that's the thing is like this will all tie back to like the Jedi Prime thing too, because they all came from one thing.
Right. Well, and remember the fucking butthole cave that was like the evil space that she went into? Like, but there's evil and good on that. They always operate together. It's like the goddamn Jedi Temple building on top of the Sith, you know? What were you thinking? What were you thinking building it there? Anywhere else? Right.
I hope we get a little backstory on that. Like they're like, pull off into the corner and be like, well, why we built this temple.
Yeah.
We buried that lie. We're about to bury a new lie.
I was trying to think anything else as far as, do you have any like other plot theories or predictions about this show? Kind of what's...
No, but I think there's going to be a lot of, okay, so that is my prediction. I think like at the beginning we were talking about, could do this or could, I think there's going to be a lot of whodunits. Like it's not just like we're trying to figure out this May, OSHA, whatever. I think there's people, we're going to have multiple trades on each side, or we're led to believe one thing and they're doing something else, and not even Jedi Sith, but like I think we're going to have a lot, because this is the type of show for that, right?
Nothing is as it seems.
Yes.
And that's what she set it up
quite
as.
A few characters, yeah.
Yeah, it's been set up as like a mystery thriller. So I think you're right. I think there's going to be multiple threads that are going to be confusing and misleading, and we won't know, maybe not even know all of them wrapped up in season 1, because she certainly seems like she's got her eyes on a season 2, even though it hasn't got to that point yet.
I'm looking forward to speculation in each episode going forward.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot to dive into, especially after these first 2 episodes, which we're going to do next. There's going to be they're going to leave us in a spot where there's about 16 open threads of what could be going on. And she did say, Headland, that she wanted this first season to be like a full story, but with some kind of open storylines. So it's not like she's doing a season 1 as this is the precursor to season 2, and you're not going to get any questions answered. I think some of it's going to get resolved, and then there's going to be some stuff that's left over, obviously.
So the full story will be told, but there'll be threads to go into something else.
I think that's right. Yeah.
Okay.
She pitched it as a multi-season show.
And why wouldn't you? Who doesn't want job security?
You should pitch it as a multi-season show. It'd be
Yeah.
kind of short-sighted.
Especially the money they spent on this. Yeah, you might want a couple more just to get replay value out of this.
You would think so, and there may be a wait and see going on as as far as how it does and how it's received and all that. But
especially, it seems like Iger has really changed Disney Plus's. It doesn't look like they're going to be throwing just a shit ton of money at everything on this anymore.
You're right, and I think this is one of those things, and you've seen it on a bunch of shows. Netflix does this all the time, where you're going to see the first 2 or 3 episodes come out. You're going to get a good gauge of how it's being received, and then you're immediately going to go, season 2 approved.
Yes.
If it's doing well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, fingers crossed for that. Oh, who's the real Acolyte? So who's your pick at this juncture?
Okay.
You at one point mentioned Yord, the goody two shoes guy.
Yep.
Obviously, Ash Randar has been bucking for Jecki the whole time. And the thing is about that, Daphne Keane is getting a lot of run in the promotion of this show.
Mm-hmm.
A lot. For somebody who doesn't necessarily look like they're the main character or anything. She's at a lot of these events and stuff. She's getting a lot of play, so it makes you kind of wonder.
Yeah, but I mean, they're going to be killing off quite a few of these people. I think some of these younger faces are the ones that's going to be sticking around, right? Mm-hmm. So I guess when you go to her 8 hours in makeup or zipper face, which one do you want?
Right? You decide.
So do you want to cover the face up or do you want it? So I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. I kind of hope that she stays the hero or grows into like that hero role.
Right.
I think a good shot is Yord. If it's not May or whoever, which I think there's.
It just seems
and I think there's a backstory as to why the killings are happening. That necessarily might not be
her.
Well, they might be aware of something, and that's what leads the Jedis because they start searching for her to, oh shit, there's like some dark force shit going on.
Right.
But whatever she's aware of isn't because she's attempting to be an acolyte or already is. You know what I mean?
Right. It could be that it's not just a revenge tour. It could be that maybe she's pursuing something that is of a...
Like maybe these older Jedis have already covered up a lie that she's aware of. So she's going on the hunt.
But and maybe some of these Jedi she's killing are part of the problem.
Yes. Right.
And they legitimately are.
Mm-hmm.
And so what she's doing is actually good in a sense.
Yeah.
There's got to be those twists. I don't think she's going to be the Acolyte. I think it's just too obvious.
Right. I agree.
Unless it's her other personality.
Unless it's her triplet.
Oh God. Third one shows
what
up.
What if the zipper mask comes off and it's the triplet? Oh man.
You guys forgot about me.
Yeah.
So if you had to pick, you're thinking Yord as your pick. If you had to pick, if you're like, feet to the fire.
Well, it could be one of those things where maybe he does kill Zipperface, but then, he likes what it gives him, the feeling. So then he pursues a little something, or someone comes to him.
Yeah, or gets in some way manipulated into that side.
Yeah,
because he's so fucking dedicated.
It just gets hard after every killing.
Exactly. Yeah, he's got his own saber and keeps growing every time.
Yep. Try to steal this weapon, May. Grab it, I dare you.
It's a flesh tone.
Yeah.
I think it's one of those where if he's so like freaking balls to the wall dedicated to, to this cause that he's on, well, if he gets flipped and his mind goes to another place, then he might just be that dedicated to that. And he becomes a true acolyte. He's the one who says an acolyte. He's the one who says it in the goddamn trailer.
And if he learns of this lie or something or whatever, what's going to make you disavow everything you've devoted your life to?
Yeah, good point.
It's like, no, fuck this. Now I'm going to go with this guy over here that just lives on an island. He seems to have a nice thing.
Right.
Umbrellas in his drink. He seems happy. Look at that zipper face.
Exactly. Why are we suffering here? Mm-hmm. Let's do stuff that makes us happy. Oh, how do you think season 1 ends? Do you got any? I mean, I think it's like, who's going to survive? I think Andara's going to die clearly. There's a chance Saul dies. I don't know. I think they want to keep him around for a second season, but
yeah, well, I hope he doesn't. If we see Andara die right away, I think
need to keep him around,
right? At least for a little bit, right?
Yeah.
He's going on the mission or whatever, so I could see him dying midpoint, maybe second to last episode.
Yeah, for some weight.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Stenberg's going to survive. Jecki, I think Mother Anasea survives. Kelnaka probably survives. Yord is either going to be, like you said, the acolyte, or he's going to get killed. It's like one or the other.
Right, yeah.
But I think they're going to end, of course, the season with it's still up in the air. Is that really the acolyte? You think it is, but maybe there's like a little bit of a, I
think the end of the season is we're going to be shown who the actual acolyte is, or who becomes the Acolyte.
You think it's going to be for sure known, or you don't think it's going to still be left with a little bit of a hint of doubt?
No, I think it's going to be known to us, the audience.
Okay.
At least to us, like we see something, right? But then I think it's also going to be, and I don't believe Headland. There's going to be a thread that's like, oh, and I think that's where you're going to learn someone's answering to someone else. So the second season's going to open up big time. The allusion to it, anyways.
Right. Okay. Yeah. And maybe and who knows? Maybe in the end, it's Christian Slater as Ren.
Fuck, dude, I hope so. What's the over under? What's the over under on is this a Ren origin story?
Well, is it over under or percentage chance?
Okay, percentage chance.
1.
Really?
I don't know. 5 at best.
I'm hoping for more. I'm going 60%.
Maybe he blows up and May lights her cigarette on the explosion, just like Heather's. End credits.
Fuck yes.
Yeah. I'm just going to try to bring every 80s reference possible to this theme. And then I think that was kind of all I had. The only other thing I thought was just, would we see any other Jedi introduced at a younger age that we're going to see later in the Phantom Menace? I was trying to think of like who else could potentially show up, but I don't know. This kind of, maybe fucking Abs himself, Kit Fisto shows up.
So.
He's just a little teeny guy.
Right.
Already hitting the gym. Already fucking.
He's got just like a beer belly.
It's fucking Thor from
it's before he found the gym. Yes, yeah. It's Thor playing video games.
All right, well, we're interested in hearing your thoughts. We will obviously get into it. Next episode is going to be episodes 1 and 2. Looking forward to it. We will do a giveaway, kind of details to be determined. It's going to be the same process as far as answering questions of the week, sending emails, voicemails, etc. But we're still working on exactly what the prizes are going to be. It might be artwork. We're kind of leaning into that this time.
I want to play a game with it. I want to the person, like people are, we have to figure it out yet. We'll discuss it, but basically it's like who's going to become our Acolyte.
Oh.
Yeah.
They get to be the Acolyte of the show.
The winner gets a prize, but they have to work for it.
Dinner with us.
Oh yeah.
Nobody would enter. You can keep it. It'd be like when Rural Farm Boy won the Darksaber and was like, give it to somebody else. Yeah. Everybody keeps doing that. Punt.
The winner's going to get a zipper mask that we've both worn already.
Oh, game worn. Nice. All right. And then finally, it's we got a voicemail in the answering machine. You ready for this?
What's up, skewers? This is Ro from the Scare of Scuttlebutt podcast.
Ooh.
So just responding to your recent post regarding thoughts on upcoming projects. I'm looking forward to the Acolyte. It's dark. It's dreary. And that's how I like my Star Wars. Bad Batch was great. The last episode was a little lackluster, but overall I think it was a fantastic.
Lackluster? What's your fucking problem?
Did he watch the last episode?
Did he want more tied up? Is that the thing? He didn't like that it, or maybe he didn't like that it ended on a positive note, that it was uplifting a little.
Yeah, it wasn't dark enough for him.
Yeah. He wanted more deaths.
Just turn the lights off before you watch it.
More deaths.
Yeah.
All right.
Fantastic season. The writing was top notch. Characters really grew on me. And I was sad to see it leave. Hopes and concerns for Skeleton Crew now that we've seen that image of the Ingot. It's a funny word, by the way.
It is.
The Children of the Corn profiles there. It seems like the show might be geared to a younger demographic.
For sure.
I was excited about it. I am probably less excited, but still going to watch. Yeah, that's about it. Wondering what you guys think, and thanks for the opportunity. That's the Scuttlebutt.
You're welcome. You're welcome for the opportunity.
Where did you lose like your childhood innocence, Ro?
Well, he is one who I think takes a critical approach to things, not in a like shit on it way.
Mm-hmm.
Although he does shit on Last Jedi a lot.
Right.
But I think he's always open to it and wants to consume it. I mean, you've seen his fucking room.
Yeah.
It's just
I've seen it.
And his dedication to Star Wars in general. So I think he's always open to it. I think he's just like, he's maybe a little more critical than we are.
Okay. All right. I'm looking forward to watching this one with the kids.
Yeah, I mean, I think we are, I don't know that you would call us full sunshine pumpers, but we definitely lean on the positive side of, like, we're always looking for the fun.
Yeah. We'll give us and we'll enjoy it.
But you give us resistance and Jay's going to lose his fucking mind. So it does happen.
I'll kill somebody. I'll get a whole fucking Ryder truck full of manure and park it in front of Lucasfilm. Bring that show back.
Oh, man. Thank you, Ro. You get some entries for that. And I think that's it.
That's it. Oh, we'll see you next episode. 2 of them. Long talk, baby. We're going to have a big breakdown.
Oh, yeah.
We got to get a hashtag. Hashtag who is Zipper Face.
Who's Zipper? We'll come up with a good one.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Until next time.
Laugh it up, fuzzballs.
We have spoken.